In September 2018, Jeff Knoll posted a disturbing video on his channel titled, "Man Trying to Enter My Home in the Middle of the Night." The footage shows a creepy individual approaching the front door of a house, seemingly trying to gain access. It's troubling to watch such unsettling events unfold on camera. At first, the break-in seems benign, but soon after, the man starts pulling on the doorknob and talking to himself. It's concerning to witness the situation escalate like this. Some of his words are faintly audible, but most are muddled and unclear. Just as the situation seems to be escalating, the homeowner shouts from a window, threatening to call the police. It's a tense moment, but the homeowner's intervention offers a glimmer of relief.
Okay, I was just looking for my dog, Fido. Whoa. You don't have to get all like that and stuff, honey. Right back.
The man tries to excuse his actions by claiming he was just looking for his dog, Fido. He even suggests they could become friends before disappearing into the darkness. The uploader never encountered him again, leaving them anxious and still in the dark about his true intentions if he had gained entry to the house. In February 2020, an off-duty cop got a text from his neighbor. They said someone was trying to break into the cop's house where his wife was alone. He hurried over, found nothing wrong, then saw his neighbor had sent a video clip. There was this shirtless guy creeping up the stairs to the front door like a scene out of a horror movie. And when he couldn't get in, he didn't just give up. He prowled around the side of the house. The moment the guy saw what he'd recorded, he dialed 911 in a panic. But even with 4 officers and a K9 unit on the scene, it turned into this frantic chase. It was like a nightmare unfolding in real life. The neighbors were on edge, the cops were racing around, but somehow this shirtless guy kept slipping through their fingers. Every time they thought they had him, he vanished. Then, to add to the terror, one of the neighbors swore he heard noises in his own backyard. They searched high and low, only to find the back porch light tampered with, but no sign of the intruder, and just when they thought it couldn't get worse, the guy who'd filmed the whole thing saw him again, this time in someone else's yard, up to the same mischief. It was like he was everywhere and nowhere all at once. The man, armed and desperate, confronted the intruder, demanding him to surrender. But instead of complying, the shirtless man bolted, disappearing into the crawl space of a nearby house. The uploader, trembling, waited for the police to arrive. When they finally pulled the intruder out of hiding, the gravity of the situation became clear. He was hit with multiple charges: aggravated burglary, trespassing, public intoxication, and disorderly conduct. And to make matters worse, the police disclosed that he was high on dangerous drugs and had an outstanding warrant For another burglary case, the fear lingered, knowing he had a history of crime. It's uncertain if he was convicted for all his offenses, but given his track record, it's likely he's still behind bars today. The video, taken at 4:30 a.m. on April 29, 2023, in El Paso, Texas, reveals a young woman frantically rushing to a house, ringing the doorbell. Her panicked glances over her shoulder suggest she's being pursued, yet there's no one else in sight. The sense of fear is palpable, leaving you with a knot in your stomach. The woman pleads for assistance, tears streaming down her face as her cries echo through the silence of unanswered doors. Then, a glimmer of hope. A car's headlights pierce the darkness. But instead of relief, it sparks fear. She cowers behind a column, trembling as if hiding from unseen danger. And when the neighbor's driveway lights flicker to life, she repeats the same desperate action, consumed by a terror we can only imagine. After a tense wait, the relief of a car's headlights piercing the darkness seems fleeting as the woman cautiously descends the steps toward it. Whether she found safety in that vehicle remains a mystery, as the Ring camera didn't capture her next move. But what unfolded next sparked a frenzy of speculation. Many feared she might be a victim of trafficking, desperately fleeing her captors. Yet, doubts arose. Why hide from neighbors if in danger? And the initial calm demeanor, only to sprint into view of the camera, raised suspicions of a staged robbery. Then, a twist. Krista Nicole Cordell, 34, was arrested for burglary, just weeks later. Some saw a resemblance between her and the woman in the video, but police remained silent. The uncertainty lingers, leaving us to wonder if she ever returned to that neighborhood. In August 2019, a security camera in a Troy, Michigan home recorded a suspicious man wandering inside, clearly not familiar with the layout because he had broken in. Though the camera didn't capture what happened next, the homeowner woke up screaming to find the man standing over her bed. He quickly fled, leaving police with no leads on his identity or how he got in. It wasn't until 2 months later, in October of that year, that he was spotted on camera again in another home in Rochester Hills, Michigan. The fact that this intruder remained at large is deeply concerning. In this troubling incident, the man is seen climbing onto a hot tub and peeking through a window before walking away. Despite the homeowner reporting it, the man manages to evade police for months. Then, in January 2020, he reappears, this time peering through a kitchen window in Bloomfield Township. The homeowner receives a notification from their security camera, capturing the man hiding behind a tree. Although the initial part wasn't recorded, later footage shows him walking along the side of the house. The repeated sightings of this stranger in the area are concerning. Once again, the intruder managed to evade authorities until a few days later, when the police finally made a breakthrough. In February 2020, the same man was spotted by a police officer fleeing a residential yard in Bloomfield Township, in the same neighborhood as his previous sightings. This time he was arrested, issued a citation, and given a restraining order. He was also required to wear a GPS tether until his court date. Identified as 27-year-old Donovan Johnson, it was later revealed that he worked as a bankruptcy attorney. After being released on bond, there were no further updates on the case. However, if he was convicted, it's likely he's still serving time. The ongoing uncertainty surrounding the situation is deeply troubling. One rainy morning in 2020, a Ring camera captured footage of a woman walking up to a house and repeatedly ringing the doorbell. It's a worrisome sight, adding tension to the situation. In an odd scene, the woman keeps her mouth wide open throughout, leaving viewers wondering if it's due to drugs or illness. After a brief pause, she turns and leaves, appearing to put her fingers in her mouth, suggesting possible pain. This theory was discussed by Reddit users. Some suggest she might be sleepwalking due to medication, given the early hour of the recording, raising concerns she may have been wandering all night. However, her true intentions remain uncertain, adding to the worry surrounding the situation. In April 2023 in Connecticut, unsettling footage emerged. At 9:30 a.m., a man clad in an orange vest approached a house, package in hand. Upon the homeowner's opening of the door, the situation quickly turned alarming. To appear convincing, the man pretended to read an address on the package as the homeowner approached the door. But unknown to the homeowner, the man had ulterior motives. He wasn't there to deliver any package. The tension rises as the truth unfolds.
I don't know if this is for you.
In an attempt to confuse the homeowner, the man offers the package, but when the owner hesitates, the situation escalates dramatically. The suspect quickly reveals a weapon and tries to force his way into the house. Despite the homeowner's resistance, the armed man eventually flees. Identified as 37-year-old Xavier Otero, he's later arrested at a family member's house in nearby Hartford, Connecticut, facing charges including home invasion and possession of a firearm. During the investigation, police uncover a planned home invasion involving zip ties and robbery at gunpoint. Drugs and materials for a drug factory are discovered at Otero's residence, along with heavy-duty zip ties. Other suspects involved in the scheme are also apprehended, with the mastermind sentenced to prison. As of now, all 3 suspects remain behind bars, but the community remains concerned about the unsettling incident and its broader implications. On July 24, 2021, Caitlin Curtis took her baby to the park across from her Arizona home. While sitting by the fountain, a rough-looking man approached, offering poorly drawn sketches for sale. Caitlin declined politely, but unease lingered. As she left, she noticed the man entering a suspicious truck which then trailed her home. Fearing she was being followed, Caitlin took evasive action, altering her route and entering her house through the back to avoid detection. 3 days later, while Caitlin was away, her doorbell camera captured the same man at her front door, ringing the bell at 3 in the morning. The sense of dread is palpable, leaving one to wonder what his intentions might be. According to Caitlin, her husband slept through the entire ordeal, unaware until the following day. Once the video hit TikTok, users speculated that the man's targeted visit wasn't mere chance. Some suggested he had been surveilling Caitlin since their encounter in the park. Perhaps the drawings were a ploy to distract her while an accomplice snatched her child, but the true intentions remain shrouded in mystery. It's possible he was under the influence or struggling with mental health issues. Yet, had Caitlin not been vigilant, the outcome could have been dire. Thankfully, the man never returned, and Caitlin's family hasn't seen him since. Still, the lingering fear persists, leaving us to wonder what might have unfolded if caution hadn't prevailed.